Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Jacqui from the YMCA of Greater Boston. I'm going to be moving you through a Vinyasa flow this morning. As always, props are optional, whatever you'd like to take it home. We're going to get started in a child's pose. We're going to keep the knees together to start. Big toes are touching in back. You're going to sink hips, walk the arms nice and long to the top here, and then just start to settle in. Ideally, we're trying to get the rib cage right now to sort of sink and relax on top of the thighs. If the back is tight or the hips are tight this morning, you can take a blanket in between your chest and the thighs to start, or maybe in between your heels and your hips. And letting the forehead soften down a little closer to the mat, maybe just massaging it here side to side. And just beginning to settle in. Hands can walk a little longer to the top. Option to take tented fingertips this morning. Forearms will lift up and away from the mat. Shoulders will begin to open a little bit deeper here. If this is too much to start, then go ahead and bend into the elbows a little bit. Forearms will soften and relax down onto the mat. And then just taking a brief scan of the body right now in your child's pose. And taking note of any of the places you're holding tension. Maybe the way that you woke up. If you slept sort of funky. Activity the last couple days over the weekend. And just taking notice here what your body might be seeking this morning. And we settle in with our breathing. Starting with an inhale through the nose, take a nice big breath in. And exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out. And just take two more like that, in through the nose. And out from the mouth. One more inhale. And exhale. Now from child's pose, we're going to work our way into extended. So knees are going to come to the edges of the mat, keep the big toes touching, and sink the hips back here. Maybe the knees come over the edges of your mat at home. And this time as we're walking the hands to the top, really let your chest, your sternum, even the belly all soften down, almost in between those legs here. Hips are still heavy. In through the nose, out from the mouth. Now from that wide-legged child's pose, we're going to take a walk over to the right corner. Keep your hips heavy, but lift the head and shoulders, walking everything over to the right side. And we settle in here. Imagine breathing in through your rib cage, in through the nose. And exhale. And again, full breath in. And exhale, coming back to center, nice and long down the middle. Settling those hips. And then on the next round of breath, this time walking over to the left corner, opposite side here. Bringing the head and the shoulders with you. Stretching out the side of the body, inhale. Exhale. One more full breath in. And exhale, walking back to center, long down the middle. And then scanning through the body one more time, noting if you're still holding some of that tension. And then just beginning to free the mind a bit here, maybe imagining a blank space, a blank canvas. And whatever your busy thoughts are this morning, pushing them off to the side. And saving that blank space for a positive intention for your morning practice, whether that's directly related to yoga or if that's something off of the mat. And we'll settle in for 3 counts of breath. Last round, inhale. And exhale, finding tabletop, hands and knees. Stacking shoulders over the wrists, hips over knees. Let's move through a few rounds of cow-cat. Starting with an inhale to drop the belly and lift the gaze. Exhaling, arching the back. Dropping the gaze. Inhale for cow. Maybe bending through the elbows, straightening them as you lift, and then exhaling. Bending through the elbows, straightening as you arch. And then just starting to settle in with a pace that is working for you this morning. If you feel like moving a little faster, a little slower. Really working with your breath in through the nose. And out from the mouth. Let's take another couple rounds here. And then bringing it back to neutral. Setting up to thread that needle, right side first, peeling the arm up. Fingers spread, nice side stretch here. And exhale, weave. Lowering the arm all the way down onto your shoulder. And then moving through your options, taking a peek up, keeping the hand where it is. Or walking that arm to the top right corner. Again, making sure that you are not blocked here by the arm. Your view is not blocked, rather. Or half bind, left arm behind the low back. Fingers coming into that right thigh pocket here. It does help if you feel sort of stuck, like there's not a lot of space. Inhale and exhale real big a couple of times and see if you can wiggle the hands a little deeper into that pocket. And then maybe you stay here, both knees on the mat. If you want to add in a little bit of a balance challenge, we'll extend that left leg. Tucking toes to the mat. And maybe the leg lifts. Keep that hip towards the ceiling. And release, lowering the knee. Bring the hand back, pressing up, right arm unravels high. And soften it down. On the opposite side, left arm peeling up, fingers spread. Exhale, weave. Lower down onto that shoulder. Taking a peek up, and then again, your choice. If this right arm just wants to stay here this morning, you can keep it where it is. Maybe it walks to the top left corner this time. And again, making sure that you can see, okay, your view's not blocked, or that half bind. And then the option of extending the right leg. Maybe that leg lifts. And I didn't cue a full bind the first time around, but maybe that's in your practice this morning at home. Keeping that hip high, full breath in. Exhaling out. One more big breath in. Exhale, release. And we take it to down dog. Tuck those toes. Lift the knees and the hips. And just pedaling out a few rounds of breath here. Bending into the knees. Shake out the head, yes and no. Back and forth. And then just walking the toes a little closer towards the hands. Nice big breath in. And sighing it out. One more in. And exhale. Walk those toes to the top of the mat. Coming into our first ragdoll here, bending at the knees as much as you'd like. Hands over opposite elbows and just shifting that weight side to side, nice and heavy. And we bring it back to center. Hands lower down for our 2 circus tents, walking it out. Going as far back into that side stretch as you can. And we bring it back to center. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, big breath in. Reach up, look up. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Downward dog. Plant both hands, step the feet back. Pedaling out if you feel the need again, or maybe walking the toes a little bit closer. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Svetlana. Making sure fingers are spread wide, pressing up away from the mat, shoulders are active. Full breath in. And open the mouth, sigh it out. Inhale, right leg high. And exhale, stack those hips. Heel to tush, right hip towards the ceiling. Maybe straightening the left leg out just a little bit more. Full breath in. Exhale, release and lower. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high. Point those toes. On the exhale, stacking hips. Heel towards your tush, left hip high, belly button towards the wall. Right leg a little straighter. Big breath in. Exhale, release and lower. Take that walk to the top. Meeting in your ragdoll, opposite forearm in front. Non-dominant side. Shift that weight. See if you can straighten the legs a little bit more. Maybe the toes lift off of the mat. Activating the back of the legs. And then lowering those hands, taking your walk. Still going as far back as you can, maybe even a little further than the first round. Work with your breath to walk a little bit more around the feet. And bringing it back to center. Inhaling for that halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Interlacing fingers here. Steeple those pointers and then zipping up the spine nice and tall. In through the nose. Out from the mouth. One more, big breath in. And on the exhale, hands interlace behind the low back. Straighten out those arms, proud chest. You're gonna bend the knees and then bringing the belly and the chest down towards the thighs. Let the crown be heavy. Straightening the legs, lifting the arms higher for the ceiling. So drawing back those shoulders. Sometimes they crack or pop a little here. Big breath in. Sigh it out. One more. On the exhale, rebend into those knees, sweeping the arms up, sink hips, find your chair pose. Now in our chair pose, keeping the weight in your heels, toes can lift off of the mat. Arms are either extended out nice and long, or you can cactus. If you're doing this, elbows are in line with your shoulders. Otherwise, we're sweeping the arms up, fingers spread. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more, inhale. And exhale, release. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Plant both hands, stepper hopping your way through. High to low push-up. Upward dog. Thighs are off the mat. Downward dog. Pedal it out. Big breath in. And exhale out. Right leg lifts high. Right away, coming into stacking those hips. Lifting that right hip higher for the ceiling. Really trying to get the right side of the rib cage up towards the ceiling as well. Big breath in. And exhale, release. Pedal it out. Shake it out. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high. Point those toes. Right away, coming into stacking hips. Left hip nice and high. Left rib cage reaching for the ceiling. Full breath in. Exhale, release and lower. 2 big steps to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Sun A, sweeping the arms up. Big breath in. Interlacing if you like to steeple here. Zip it up. And this time, exhale, fold over your right side, taking a peek up to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale over the left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands behind the low back, interlace. Straighten it out. Bend those knees, forward fold. Ribs to the thigh. Now you can keep a bend in the knees if it was a little bit too hard to straighten it out. If it's too tight right now, keep that bend. Otherwise, begin to straighten the legs. Lift the arms higher. Draw the shoulders back. One more round, inhale. Exhale, rebend into those knees, sweep the arms up. Chair pose. So making sure that you can see your toes at home. A little trick I learned a long time ago is lifting those toes off the mat. That becomes sort of a habit, but really try to put the weight in the heels and you should be able to see your toes. Hands are gonna come to heart center. From here, we set up for our first twist. Right elbow over the left knee. Now right away, my left knee popped forward. So we wanna draw it back so the knees are in the same line. So really hook the elbow over and then pulling the right side of the rib cage up for the ceiling. So if you feel like you're dumping, or if you've got a little bit of a belly, you really wanna pull the belly up and out of that space so you can see the right side of the room at home. From here, hands can stay pressed together, looking over the right shoulder. If you wanna go a little deeper, arms are opening out into those wings. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more in through the nose. Exhale, center. On the opposite side, we're gonna hook right elbow over the left knee. You see my right knee popped forward, so pull it back and then get that resistance, lifting the belly and the ribs, left side up towards the ceiling. Hands can stay pressed together. Keep that gaze over the shoulder, or the arms are opening for those wings. Still looking over the shoulder. Full breath in. Sigh it out. One more in. Exhale, heart center. And release. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Plant the hands, step or hop. Moving through that flow, high to low. Upward dog. Downward dog. Pedal it out here, shake it out. From your downward dog, right leg lifts high. Exhale, pyramid. Stepping it to the top, walking the hands back to frame. You might take the blocks at home to help you lift a little bit here off the mat. Otherwise, folding over that right leg. Nose to the knee or the shin. Now, if you don't have blocks, maybe trying to palm the floor here, or rotating your wrists so that the fingers face the back, and then walking them towards that back foot. Don't let that front knee bend. 2 straight legs here. Big breath in. Exhale out. One more in through the nose. And exhale, half moon. Stepping into the right, lifting the left. Now really straighten out the legs and activate your hips here. Tighten up the glutes and lift that left leg. The leg is heavy, so help yourself here. Point the toes to the wall. Arch of the foot is towards the mat. That left hand can come to the hip, or it might reach for the ceiling. Okay, the hip is a little bit easier in the beginning, whichever one is preferable for you. And then the option here, okay, maybe you stay, or if you want to take a bind, coming into our sugar cane this morning, you're going to bend that left knee that's lifted, grab hold of the foot, and then pull that foot up away from the body. One more in. Exhale to release, lower the foot in the hand. Heel toe, shake it out. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. And then we're gonna take that on the opposite side, left leg lifting high. Exhale, pyramid. So stepping it to the top, walking the hands back to frame it, and then keeping both legs straight. We're folding over that pyramid. So nose to the knee or the shin. The option is there of keeping your tented fingertips, palming the floor, or taking that rotation, just reversing here, walking the hands to the back of the mat. Staying for one more round here, big breath in. Exhale, half moon, stepping into the left, lifting the right. Remember that the arch of the foot is towards the mat, big toe towards the wall. Hand can stay on that hip or maybe reaching it up for the ceiling. Fingers are spread, maybe taking a peek over the shoulder. And if you want to go right into that sugar cane or stay here, either option is available for you. If you're taking that sugar cane, we're going to bend into the leg here, grabbing hold of the foot, pulling that foot up and away from the body. Sometimes things sort of pop and crack, which is fine. And very gently release, lower down the hand and the foot, pedal it out, moving through your vinyasa, halfway lift, forward fold. From our down dog here, right leg lifting high, exhale, lizard lunge, stepping to the top right corner of the mat. You want those hands on the inside of the foot. And then your mat at home, you want to scooch the foot all the way up into the top right corner. Hands can stay. You can take blocks under the hands. This might be your lizard lunge today. Okay, this is our most basic sense without any modifications or challenges. If you're feeling like you want the modification, you're going to lower that knee, untuck the toes, relax the foot here. Modification 1, okay? You might take blocks under the hands. You might lower onto forearms with or without blocks as we start to move through some options here. Maybe that right hand comes to the right knee, rolling onto the blade of the foot, so you should be able to see the sole of the foot here lift, and then the right hand can push as much as you'd like, or maybe it's relaxed enough to take the hand off and bringing it back down. Forearms here with that open blade of the foot, deepening into the groin. And those options can be taken with the left knee still lifted. So the choice is up to you this morning. Many, many choices in our lizard lunge. You take what's working for you, which can be different from one practice to the next. And we'll stay, let's take 2 more breaths. Wherever you are, slowly start to come down onto that left knee if you're not yet modified, and we're gonna shift into our half pigeon here. So walking that foot over to the left corner, or left side of the mat rather, and lowering the knee to replace where the foot was. Walk that left foot back if you feel you need a little more space in your seat. And remember to keep shin parallel with the top of the mat. So thinking that if the foot is coming into your groin, you want to push the leg out here, squaring the hips off with the top of the mat. So if you feel like you're sort of off to the corner, splaying open, really take the hips, okay, manually push your hip over, and then folding over that lap. I like forearms because it can help you hold the weight down if you're sort of somewhere in the middle, but if this is too much here, take the blocks under the forearms, and then just start to relax the breathing. Any pose where we're trying to go deeper is controlled by the breath. And if you notice that you are holding the breath, you're probably in a tense position. So big, sort of obvious, mindful, intentional breathing. Big breath in. Exhale, maybe the hands or the forearms walk a little more to the top. So that's how you start to find a little more space. Let your chest, your belly come down over that lap. Still walking the arms out. Maybe the forehead comes down. And then gently, slowly, lifting yourself back up. We're gonna swing that left leg around front. And if you gotta move your seat back a little bit here, go ahead and do that. Swinging the left leg around front, keeping that right knee bent, pointing toes on the left foot towards the head, sweeping arms up. See if you can interlace the hands here, fold over the leg. See, you can control that space, and then pull, bending at the elbows, pull the ribs down towards that thigh. Two more here. Nice big breath in. Exhale. Last round. In through the nose. Sigh it out. And then lifting yourself back up. Loosely cross the legs, roll it over, come right into that down dog. Pedal it out here. And we take it on the opposite side. Left leg lifts high. Exhale, lizard lunge. So top left corner, hands are on the inside of that foot. I like to really lengthen that leg. If you feel it pop here, okay, that's okay. You're nice and long in the leg. And then again, all of those options. So you can keep it right here, okay, where we land in that lizard lunge. Toes are tucked, leg is off the mat. If you want to modify, the knee comes down, relaxing the foot here, okay, can't stress that enough. Maybe onto the forearms. Maybe blocks in forearms. If you like getting into the groin there, into that pocket of the hip flexor, left hand on the left knee, you're gonna push, roll it onto the blade, and again, maybe this side you keep the hand here. If it's not as comfortable to take the hand off, go ahead and push it down. Otherwise, the hand can come to the mat, maybe deepening onto those forearms. And for 2 more counts here. On the second exhale, finding half pigeon, walking that foot over to the right side of the mat, releasing the knee down to replace the foot. Walk your seat back, lengthen that right leg. As I'm walking the foot back, see there's more space here. The foot is way away from the groin. Shin here parallel with the top of the mat. And we're doing our best to square it off. So folding over the lap, hands, forearms, blocks, bolster, whatever makes sense. Oftentimes when we start to fold over, it's very uncomfortable in the hip, and we let this foot scooch back down into the groin. So if you notice that's happening, take the foot, push it up and out of the groin, square off those hips, and then starting to let your chest here, the sternum, the rib cage folding over the leg. And then gently press it back up. Sweep that right leg around front. Walk your seat back. And then keeping that left knee bent off to the side. Sweep the arms up overhead. Interlace if you liked that on the first side. And then bending those elbows. Deepening that forward fold. Nose to knee or the shin. One more here. And then bring it back to the top. Both legs kick out, coming into our L seat here, or staff pose, scooping the hips out from under you, or the flesh out from under you, and finding those sits bones. Sweeping arms up overhead, full breath in, and exhale, forward fold. And let the ribs come down to the thighs, nose towards the knee or shin. And gently release. Find a fully reclined position here, just taking a brief full body stretch, reaching arms behind you, pointing through the toes, big breath in, and sigh it out. Take a bend in the knees. We're gonna take a few back bends here, setting up for our shoulder bridge, gripping the edges of the mat at home or stacking the hands under the tush to start, whatever is preferable for you. On the inhale, we're gonna lift the butt up off the mat and then start to roll the shoulders underneath the back here so you have a little more height. The hands can interlace, straightening out the arms, and then walking your feet a little closer here towards the hands and really lifting here. So tightening up those glutes, tightening up the hamstrings, belly is nice and high, keeping your chin pressed towards your chest. So not looking around, definitely don't look towards your camera right now. I just want you to focus on the belly lifting, belly button high, maybe keeping the knees a little more parallel than where they might be right now. Full breath in, sighing it out. Can you get your heels to lift off the mat? Coming up on the balls of the feet and the toes. Then release. Lower everything down. Knock those knees side to side. Windshield wipers here. And then bringing it back to center, knees are bent. Right leg lifts up and over the left. Right leg up over the left. Left hand on top of the knees. Pushes them down to the left side, all the way down. Okay, notice that now my right hip is up to the ceiling, so I'm completely on the left side. Look over your right arm and lift the back of the shoulders now. Okay, flatten out your shoulder blades towards the mat. Think of Velcro. Palm is down so that you can walk the fingertips more to that edge. Let your eyes soften. One more here, nice big breath in. And exhale, come on out, recenter. This time, left leg up over the right. Right hand, taking the knees, pulling them all the way down to the right side. All the way down, all the way down. Notice now left hip faces up towards the ceiling. Okay, if I had that belt loop on, okay, it's facing up. Look over the left arm, lift those shoulders. You don't have to keep them so high and twisted. Try to soften the shoulder blades down to the mat. Walk that left hand towards the edge. Look over the left arm. Big breath in. Exhale, maybe settle the eyes. And bring it back to center. Knock those knees side to side. And then meeting in our Supta Baddha Konasana butterfly pose, soles of the feet are gonna touch. Knees will open out over the edges of your mat at home. And then option to take the blocks underneath the fleshiest part of the thigh. So if your knees are super lifted and it's uncomfortable in the groin to relax here, take the blocks. You might even take them to the taller height if that helps. And then let the hips soften, okay? We want this all to be heavy and relaxed. Traditionally, one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly. Let the eyes be heavy. The hand over the belly, Use your thumb right above the belly button. We have a pulse. Try to find that pulse right now. So it should be relatively quick and easy to find, especially at the end of class where we're already worked up here. So if you're struggling to find that, you need to do a little more exercise, a little more fiber in your diet. From here, bring the heels in closer to the groin, which might make the hips lift a little bit. That's fine. Adjust the blocks if you need to. And maybe taking a scan of the body again, similar to how we started, and just noting the differences here where you have relaxed the tension, maybe relax some of that agitation or coming out of any of the funky sleeping positions you may have had. Keeping the feet pressed together, scooch the feet about 3 to 5 inches down the mat, and now making more of a baseball diamond here with the legs. The legs might become so relaxed that these blocks don't feel good anymore, so you might take the blocks out for now and just let the hips be heavy. And then go ahead and let the legs go long. And bringing both knees in towards the body, wrap arms over the shins, and just massage it out here a little bit side to side. And maybe a happy baby, lifting the feet high, hands over the blades here, just shifting the weight. And then bring it back to center. Plant the feet, let the legs go long. Take any other asana that we didn't get to this morning. Otherwise, coming into our final pose here, just relaxing the arms and legs wherever you'd like. Blocks or no blocks, maybe a blanket. And let the eyes be heavy. Shavasana. Whenever you're ready, gently turning over onto either side, pressing yourself up and forward. And we'll meet together with hands at heart center. Together we inhale. And sigh it out. Hands lift to the center of the forehead. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live your life with ease. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Take care.